हरि ओम। ॐ सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। श्रुति स्मृति पुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करम् शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयम् नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम्। हरि ओम। We are discussing Adhyasa Bhashya, a prelude to the commentary on Brahma Sutra. So far in the 14 sessions that we had, we can ascertain that we have tried to come across some fundamental clarifications. Three questions emerge when we look at the world. The purpose of Adhyasa Bhashya is what is seen, felt, and called as world or Jagat has no existence but appears to exist. This is Adhyasa. That which is not seems to be there is Adhyasa. So the world is there according to us. There is no reality except this world. Ask anyone, everybody will agree, yes, there is a world, there are people in it, there are objects in it, there are so many subjects there. Everybody has his own mind. And all the vyavahara, all the transactions are happening in this world because we think, we feel, and we are sure that it is real. As against this one and only experience that we have, Acharya says, all that you feel that the world is there is not true. Now, if an object is kept in front of me, let us say a mango is kept in front of me. What are the possibilities that exist as far as mango and me as a seer, as a subject is concerned, and mango as object is concerned? One, mango is not there, but I feel mango is there. That's first possibility. Second, mango is there, and that is why I am feeling that mango is there, I'm seeing it. Second possibility. And the third possibility is mango is not there, but appears to be there. These are three possibilities. There is no fourth possibility possible. If the mango is really there and I see that mango is there, there's nothing much to discuss. The world is there and I am seeing the world. It's my everyday experience. But the complication starts thereafter. The mango that is there, which I see, could be that the mango is actually a watermelon, but I see it as a mango. Possibility is there. That means this object in front has existence, but my appreciation, apprehension, my cognition of that object can be wrong. They say when you have jaundice, you see things yellow. The objects are not yellow. They are seen as yellow because I have jaundice. My nayana, kamala, my eyes are having jaundiced prejudice. So that is also another possibility. In other words, as far as the world is concerned, we have certain possibilities in terms of philosophy that we grapple with. One, the world is not existing. Two, the world is existing and we are perceiving it. Three, the world is existing but we are wrongly perceiving it. Fourth, the world is existing in a different form. I am perceiving it in a different form. These are three main streams of thought. What are the main three streams? One, the world exists, it is real. Two, world is not existing, it is my own projection of mind. And three, the world itself is an illusion. Those who feel that the world is not existing, it is all in the mind. You stop perceiving it is not existing. You focus on the pravachana or on the discourse. For that time, you are forgetting everything around you. That means that which is around you is not existing for the moment, but it is not existing. That means anything that exists as a world exists only when I perceive it. If I don't perceive it, it doesn't exist. Take an example of the sleep. When I sleep, nothing exists. Why? My mind is not perceiving the world. Where does the world go when I sleep? It's not existing. In other words, those who believe that everything in the world, including the world, is nothing else but that which is perceived by the mind, are called drushti srushti vad. I see, so it exists. I perceive, so it exists. Not that it exists and then I perceive. Drushti first, srushti later. Drushti srushti vad. Vachaspati Mishra Maharaj, an extremely intelligent Rishi of 10th century, 9th century, who was so well read that he was called Sarvatantra Swatantra. He had mastered all the darshanas so well that virtually he was repository of entire Vedic knowledge by himself. And we have seen how he wrote the grantha called Bhamati. He wrote in Bhamati this Drushti Srushtivad. Why was he writing Bhamati? Brahma Sutra itself was not so easy to understand. And for that matter, those rishis who have moved higher up in the higher planes of consciousness, as you move into the higher planes of consciousness, your awareness and the limit of awareness increases. Everyone is aware of it. Presently, we are aware that somebody is talking and I am listening. So our awareness, consciousness or awareness is restricted to this. Now imagine when the inward journey of meditation starts, dhyana starts, the awareness expands and expands and expands. So naturally, incremental awareness is incremental consciousness, is incremental knowledge. At the peak of this maximum expansion of consciousness, which is Atma Swarupa or Brahma Bhuta, Brahma Bhutata. So the one who has reached to the farthest horizons of consciousness will not do anything. He will not write, speak, do anything. Why? That is all at a very lower plane. This, the one who has reached to the highest level of consciousness with full expansion of consciousness, meaning one who has become Atma Jnani or Brahmi Bhuta, again starts the descent. From the maximum expanded consciousness, he starts coming down. That is called avatarana. As he starts coming down, what will happen? He will get first the awareness of the universe. Because now he is descending down. He had transcended the universe and gone beyond the time to the fullest consciousness. Now he is moving downwards. When he's moving downwards, his first ever Dvaita experience or first ever awareness of. Prior to this, when he was in Brahmi Bhuta Avastha, he was only aware, not aware of. He was only knowledge, not knowledge of. As he starts moving down from this farthest thing downwards, the first time when he becomes aware of or knowledgeable of, he gets his Shabda. And then first thing he does is he describes or tries or attempts to describe what he felt at the expanse of the consciousness, which is itself indescribable. An indescribable thing is now being described for the first time in the downward descent of consciousness. That is why the words that are uttered are not as coherent as perhaps at the lower level of consciousness where we stand. So the utterances of the rishis at that level may be talking about the same truth, but may take a different structure. And these utterances of those rishis who have touched the height of consciousness and have started the descent down is precisely what the Upanishads are. The reason why the Vedanta or Vedas are called Apaurisheya is because there is no identification with the Purusha, that is with the body of these rishis, even when they are descending down. body awareness is coming little later than this. That is why those utterances cannot be ascribed to one person, because person as an identity is still to come. Since these utterances, which are compiled in Vedas, more so in Vedanta part or the Upanishads, are difficult to reconcile, because one said something, another said something, although both are speaking of the same truth, this reconciliation is called a samanvaya. This samanvaya is the main function of Brahma Sutra. While commenting on Brahma Sutra, Shankaracharya proposed the prelude of Adhyasa. While describing the Adhyasa, Shankaracharya was not much interested in going into the details of Maya and Avidya. He did not differentiate between Maya and Avidya because he considered everything as Ajnana. His focus while commenting on Brahma Sutra was to just emphasize upon the fact that there is a superimposition or adhyasa of the world on the reality. Our job is to know the reality and leave the adhyasa. We are all having issues like pain, sorrow, birth, rebirth, everything because of adhyasa. This adhyasa, which is untrue, appears to be true as long as we are in the adhyasa. The world is existing till we exist in the world. It stops existing when we don't exist in the world. We do not belong to the world. We feel we belong to the world. However, after Shankaracharya's demise, his disciples, equally competent rishis, started to get into the utterances of Acharya himself. Acharya spoke about the Upanishadic utterances in Brahma Sutra and tried to give commentary or bhashya on it. The bhashya itself became so difficult to understand that another bhashya on the bhashya was being written by the disciples of Shankaracharya. And amongst these disciples, Sureshwaracharya and Padmapadacharya were at the forefront in commenting upon the commentary of Brahma Sutra by Shankaracharya. Another Rishi who was not the disciple of Shankaracharya but equally competent and revering Shankaracharya, called Vachaspati Mishra, also commented on this commentary. Now, Vachaspati Mishra wrote the commentary called Bhamati, which we saw just now, and his proposition, out of the three possible things that we talked about, his proposition is Drushti Srushtivada. I perceive, so the thing exists. Otherwise, thing has no significance. It is not existing at all. The world is not existing. I am perceiving and creating it. This is Bhamatikar Vachaspati Mishra. Padmapadacharya is of a different view. He says, things are existing. That's why you see them. First, the thing has to exist. Then only you will see them. It is called Srushti Drushtivada. See, they are diametrically opposite. Bhamatikara Vachaspati Mishra says, it is my mind that constructs everything, and that is how the world is created. And what is the proof that he gives? He says, whenever you don't apply your mind, things don't exist. And it is our own experience. Right in front of the lady in the kitchen, when she is boiling the milk, she is looking at the milk and the milk overflows because she is looking at the milk, but the mind is not there. It is somewhere else. So she doesn't even realize that the milk is boiling and spilling over. A classical example of Drushti Srushtivada. It's not perceived, it is not existing. But Padmapadacharya gives a solid counter argument. If you say you perceive because of that the world exists, then when did you start the perception? As of today, perceiving the thing is maximum developed in human beings. And all the plants, animals, human beings, they came in a succession. Human beings are as recent as 10,000 years or maybe 100,000 years. Prior to that, it was animal. Prior to that, it was a plant kingdom. And prior to that, it was only Panchamahabhuta. There was no perceiver available that time. Then how the Panchamahabhutas were existing? The perceiver himself was not there on the scene when the world was created. He came much later. So man is the late entrant in the creation. Then how can you say that the creation happens only because the man perceives it? A solid argument against Bhamatikara Vachaspati Mishra by Padmapadacharya. Padmapadacharya put forward Srushti Drushtivad. Things are existing. It is also called realism. And Bhamatikara is called idealism. Padmapadacharya wrote commentary on only first 4 sutras of commentaries of Shankaracharya. Out of 555 sutras of Brahma Sutra, Acharya commented on the first 4 sutras. Those 4 only were taken by Padmapadacharya and he wrote a big commentary on that. Imagine the amount of philosophy that is embedded. Brahma Sutra is talking of 4 sutra, means 4 lines. Acharya wrote 4 large paragraphs on it. And Padmapadacharya wrote a grantha on it. So 2 absolutely opposite rationale put forward by 2 of the stalwarts, Vachaspati Mishra, everything I perceive, so the world exists. Moment I stop perceiving, world is over. Vachaspati Mishra. Padmapadacharya, things are existing, only when I see them, I cognize them. So the world exists independent of me perceiving it. This is Padmapadacharya. Because again, on that Padmapadacharya's grantha, Prakashananda has written further grantha. The third stream came from Sureshwaracharya. Some people say it is the Mandan Mishra who was renamed as Sureshwaracharya. Some say they are different. We are not going to get into it. Sureshwaracharya said, I see, so it exists, or it exists, so I see. Both are not correct. This entire cosmos is an illusion. And when cosmos is an illusion, I also become a part of the illusion. So how can a person who is under the illusion talk about the illusion, whether it is illusion or not? You cannot. See, this is also a very strong postulate. All are drunkards. Then one drunkard is talking about how much conscious one is, how much one is drunk, what is non-drunken state. He cannot, because he's part of the drunken group. Only one who has not drank can talk about the drunkards, not the drunkard who is a part of the drinking gang. Similarly, cosmos itself is an illusion. You being the part of the illusion, how can you say it is illusion or not? Nishkarma Siddhi Grantha. Sureshwaracharya's this proponent. Out of all this, Padmapadacharya and his postulates, which says that things are existing, you perceive it, is widely accepted. And that is why the entire Panchadashi Vidyaranya Swami or Sayanacharya accepted Padmapadacharya's theory and wrote entire Panchadashi. This is a further extension and expansion of commentary of Shankaracharya, because this becomes relevant when we read certain aspects of the Adhyasa Bhashya. What is Acharya saying further? We saw in the last session that this word is superimposed or Adhyasa on the Brahma, but we don't realize it. The reason, the cause for this is avidya. Avidya. What is avidya? Because this word has come so many times and we always feel avidya as an object. Our mind many times perceives ajnan avidya as something like an object, covering object. The very fact that you don't know anything is avidya. Suppose somebody asked, which is the deepest point in the sea? And he's not aware of it. So we'll say he doesn't know. He's expected to know, but he doesn't know. Doesn't know is avidya. The deepest point is existing. The island of Tristan da Cunha, that is the point where it is the deepest point of Pacific, is existing. But if it is not known, then we say, I don't know. I don't know, not knowing that which is not within the scope of your intellect to comprehend is avidya. So Brahma is existing. What is the guarantee? No guarantee, because we don't know it. Somebody who knows it told us that it exists. The acharyas have told us, and we believe in them. Why do we believe in them? Because believing in the word of acharya is a pramana. It's called Shabda Pramana. Because I can't see it. I can't see Atma in front of me. So Pratyaksha is not possible. Anumani is not possible. So I am sticking to all the Granthas, Veda, or the saintly people, or the Rishis, or the Munis, because Shabda is my Praman. Then how do I myself come to a point where I know what Brahman is, instead of believing in what they are telling me? Because when I believe in what they tell me, it is aparoksha jnana. Mount Everest is beautiful, but I have not seen it. I have not experienced it. And the method by which I realize it is naturally opposite of avidya. So it is called vidya. That is why tad vivekena vastu swarupa avadharanam vidyam ahuhu. Ascertainment or discrimination of the real nature of vastu. Vastu means atma. Vastu is a word used in technical parlance for atma or brahma. So the vivek for the real nature of brahma is called vidya. Tatra evam sati yatra yad adhyasaha tat krutena doshena gunena va anumatena api na sambadhyate. That means adhyastha and adhishthana. Adhishthana is Brahma. Adhyastha is world. Adhyastha and adhishthana need not have any relationship whatsoever as far as their guna are concerned. So this is to refute the doubt in the mind that world is so unreal, Brahma is so real. How unreal and real can get superimposed? How darkness and sun can get superimposed? This comes to the mind. That is why Acharya is saying तत्कृतेन दोषेन गुणेन वा अनुमात्रेण अपि स न संबध्यते. Even if the qualities of these two are completely different, still it is possible to have superimposition. The unreal and the real satyanruta mithuni krute. Unreal and the real has come together, although they are completely opposite, diametrically opposite to each other, and such coming together is possible, has already been spoken about by Shankaracharya. The rope doesn't move, the snake moves. Still the rope looks like a snake. The qualities are completely different. The rope, it can be straight. The snake can be straight. The qualities are same. But the rope doesn't move. Snake moves. Still we feel there is a snake on the rope. Why? Because it is possible to have adhyasa or superimposition even into things which are diametrically opposite to each other. That is how Purva Paksha, or the objections raised by the fact that how can something which is so false and illusory is resting on that is something which is absolute truth. This is clarified here. Tatra tam etam avidyakhyam atmana atmanam itaretar adhyasam puraskritya sarva pramana prameya vyavahara laukikaha pravruttaha. Now Shankaracharya is saying that out of this avidya, atma and anatman thing has iterator adhyasa. What is iterator adhyasa? Itara adhyasa. Means atma is considered to be imposed on the world. The world is thought to be imposed on the atman. They are no way related to each other. But they look, feel, and perceived as, for example, this is my body, Sharira. Sharira has nothing to do with Atman. Atma has nothing to do with Sharir, yet I call Sharir as Atma. That means all the gunas or the qualities of Sharira are ascribed on Atma. This Sharir dies, Atma never dies, yet I feel this Sharir only is Atma. This is Adhyasa. Atma is Swayam Prakashi, Jnana Yukta. But I feel I am knowledgeable, I have knowledge, I get knowledge, I am educated, I am understanding. These are all effects of the jnanam, which is nothing else but the inherent power of the Atma, but I feel it is mine. So Atma's characteristics are imposed on the body. Body's characteristics or Sharira Guna Dharma is superimposed on Atma. This is called Itara Adhyas or Anyonya Adhyas. What Acharya is saying? Iterator Adhyasam Puraskritya Sarve Pramana Prameya Vyavahara Laukikaha Pravruttaha. But unfortunately, considering this Adhyasa to be true, all the Vyavahara is happening. And all the Vyavahara mean not only Vyavahara of giving and taking or object and subject. Sarvani cha shastrani vidhi pratishedham moksham parani. Now this is something very, very loud and a big bang statement. What Shankaracharya is saying? Even the moksha is a superimposition. This is a very, very rebellious statement. Shankaracharya says, not only you are drinking, eating, talking, fighting with each other, all the vikaras, parigraha, all whatever the vyavahar you are doing, raja gunatmaka, tamo gunatmaka, that's all fine. Even sattva gunatmaka vyavahar also, reading the scriptures, the Vedas, the Veda, the Yajna, the Tapa, Jnana, Moksha, everything is adhyas. See, it is easy to understand that mine, what I call is an adhyas. This sharir is an adhyas, all right. Even tapa is an adhyasa. Peace of mind is an adhyasa. No truth. Moksha has no truth. Then how is it that all the Vedas are told, Vidhi Nisheda is told, how it is possible? This is because till the time Vyavaharika Satta is there, till the time Avidya is there, in Avidya, everything that is done is true till Avidya exists. Moment Avidya is transcended or it is gone, nothing matters. That is why Balavat Pishachavat Unmat in Vivek Chudamani, a Jivan Mukta is described as Balavat Pishachavat Unmat. He will do anything. They normally grow, he will grow his hair, eat some dirt, sit at the corner. Such a Jivan Mukta was seen by Ramakrishna Paramahamsa himself. And what was he doing that time, the Jivan Mukta? He was eating with a dog right besides the where the dirt was dumped, and he was eating there. It's all abominable. Tiraskrutya. You don't feel like looking at it even. He has no problem. Why? Nothing is existing. That means all the vyavaharas where you put the rules and regulations are also in the Vyavaharika Satta. So rules also have no meaning, regulations have no meaning. They have use. They do have use. Exactly and precisely this was described by Ramakrishna Paramahamsa as, to remove a thorn, you require another thorn. But you cannot forget that after removing the thorn, both the thorns are to be thrown away because they are not the real thing. Because you had a thorn prick, you required another thorn to remove the previous thorn. Because you are in the world of birth and death, you require the Vedas and the Vedanta sadhana to get out of the world. After you get out of the world, what is the use of Vedas? There is no use of Vedas. Kabir Maharaj, an extremely enlightened soul, who could put such a huge philosophy in a very small composition where he says, Ram Niranjana Nyarare. The Ram that he's talking here is not Dasharathi Ram. He's talking about Brahma. Ram Niranjana Nyarare Anjana Sakala Pasarare. This is all superimposition. Anjana means the one whose eyes have been put with some medicine so that he starts seeing something different than normal. Exactly superimposition. Rama Niranjana Nyarare Anjana Sakala Pasarare. Anjana Bani. The speech is also false. Anjana Bani, Anjana Ved. Ved also is Anjana. Anjana Ghokata Kata Gyanare. Even the knowledge that you are getting of Vedas or Shadadarshana, also Anjana. Anjana Brahma. Anjana Shankara. Anjana Gopi Sangu Govindure. Even that Krishna that we talk about is Anjana. Why? Rama Niranjana Nyarare. This is precisely what the Shankaracharya is also saying here, that superimposition called avidya is taken for granted by everyone. And then only pramana, prameya, vyavhara happens, and that is called the vyavhara. In the entire Laukik and Vedic vyavhara. Laukik vyavhara, to eat, to drink, to give money, to take money. Vedic vyavhara, yajna tapadana. They may be superior and inferior in our world. Indulging into alcohol is inferior, tamasika. Reciting mantra is sattvika, agreed. But tamasic and sattvic, both are superimposition. All Shastra which deal in Vidhi, that is injunction, Nishedha, prohibition, and Moksha, emancipation, also transact on this basis only. Sarvani cha shastrani vidhi pratishedham moksham parani. So Acharya is extremely clear about it. But Purva Paksha is not happy with this. Adhyasabhasya, the next question comes from the Purva Paksha side. Objection is, Katham punaha avidyavat vishayani pratyakshadini pramanani shastrani cheti? How come then means of valid knowledge, pratyaksha, adi pramana, and scriptures have their locus in a cognizer who is avidya purna? A very valid question. You say the cognizer, the pramata, the one who is in this world, is the locus of avidya. This sharira, which right now I consider myself as this sharira buddhi, whatever by delimited by an height, and we call it Dr. Jadhav, this is what I think myself, and this is because of avidya. So I am an avidya purna purusha. If I am avidya purna, then how it is possible that the source of vidya, the Vedanta and everything, is residing in me? I am the one who is reading the Vedas, getting the knowledge, talking about the Shastra, and I am myself a locus, or I am myself the center of avidya. I am avidya purna, doing vidya purna things. How that can happen? You say I am avidya yukta. If I am with avidya, then how can I be getting into vidya? No possibility, no chance. I have to be little bit inclined for vidya, then I will get vidya. But you said that no, you are a dumb person and now you learn. You call me dumb, then how can I learn? Calling me dumb means avidya purna. And then you say you are learning from the Shastras. Another objection. And the Siddhanta Paksha or the Acharya gives the answer. Dehadi indriyashu aham abhimana raitasya pramatrutva anupapatto pramana paurti na anupapatte. Nahi indriyani upadaya pratyaksha adi vyavaraha sambhavati. Nacha adhishthanam antarena indriyanam vyaparaha sambhavati. Nacha anadhyastat atma bhavena dehena kaschid vashriyate. Nacha etasmin sarvasmin sati asangasya atmanaha pramatrutva upapadyate. Nacha pramatrutva antarena pramana pravrittihi asti tasmat avidyavat vishayani eva pratyaksha adini pramanani shastrani cheti pashvadibihi cha visheshat. What is the meaning? Since a man without self-identification with body, mind, and senses cannot be a cognizer, it is not possible that if you don't have the feeling that I am the body, mind, and the senses, if this feeling is not there, you cannot be a pramatru, you cannot be a cognizer. The one who forgets that he is a body, mind, and senses cannot have transaction in this world. In other words, to be in this world, to do vyavahara in this world, to be a pramatru, you have to have the feeling that I am the body, I am the mind, and I am the senses. And what is the proof for this? In the sleep, all the three are absent. That is why there is no vyavahara when you are sleeping. It is not possible to have any transaction when you are sleeping. Why? You are not incapable of doing the transaction. You are capable of doing the transaction. You have hands, you have eyes, you have everything. But none of them is working to give you a feeling that you are the pramatru or the doer. Why? You are sleeping. That means The mind is sleeping, the senses are sleeping, and the feeling that I am Deha is also sleeping. A different thing that on Jagruti, you get a feeling that you were asleep. But only thing that you know is you were asleep, nothing other than that. For it is a 6-hour phenomenon. For 6 long hours you were asleep. What you remember out of it? I was asleep. That's all. Nothing else you remember. Why? Nothing happened. Why nothing happened? There is no feeling or awareness that I am the body, I am the mind, I am the senses. So Acharya says, to have a transaction, it is essential to have body, mind, and senses. Perception and other activities are impossible without accepting senses, and senses cannot function without a substratum called body. It is not possible to do vyavhar or activity with a body that has no superimposition of I. So I as an adhyasa, I, that adhyasa of me, is only when it is present, then only we can have vyavhara. In nidra, there is no adhyasa of I. That is why nidra is called samadhi sadrusha, not samadhi, but samadhi sadrusha. It is almost same like samadhi. Only thing is, in samadhi, he is aware. Here he is unaware. Some people have described it as a profound sleep with open eyes is samadhi. A profound sleep with closed eyes is nidra. At the same time, self or atma cannot be cognizer or pramata unless he has material for superimposition. When you are awake, even the feeling that I am the body, all this is possible because of the light of atma. A dead body doesn't say, oh, I am the body, because he is dead. Why? Atma prakasha for that moment is absent in the dead body. Living body says that I am cognizing, I am transacting, I am in the vyavhara because of atma prakasha, not because the body, because otherwise a dead body would also say that. That means if only body is present, it is of no use. What about if only atma is present? There will be no superimposition because there is no body for the atman to be superimposed. That means the combination of matter or body or sharira or pramatru or the cognizer with body, mind and senses, and atma or brahman with self-illuminating and sakshi, when they are together, the superimposition takes place. Alone, both of them cannot have superimposition. Atma has no need for superimposition or adhyasa. Sharira alone cannot have a superimposition or adhyasa unless substratum is there. You require snake and rope both to create the superimposition of snake. If only snake is lying, and I know it is snake, there is no superimposition. Only rope is lying, there is no superimposition. This rope has to lie. Appropriate condition of dim light has to be there. Then sarpadhyas comes. Similarly, body has to be there. Body, mind, senses has to be there. The dim light means avidya has to be there. Then only the Vishwa, Jagat, body, Sharir, everything, adhyasa will come on the real rope, the real Brahma. That is why all the pramana or means of knowledge as well as shastras, scriptures, everything is at the ashraya of avidyavan manushya. So Vedas, whatever they talk about, being of the Vyavaharika Vishwa, it is dependent on the Jiva or the Manushya. Even the composition of Vedas, although a Paurushaya is done by the Rishis only when they came in the Vyavaharik Vishwa, not when they were not in Vyavaharik Vishwa. The only thing is they did it at the junction of Paramarthik Satya and Vyavaharik Satya. When they were coming down from the Paramarthik Satya or the fullest consciousness, when they when they were drifting downwards at the junction of Vyavaharik Vishwa and Paramarthik Vishwa, Samadhi and Jagruta Avastha, at that junction, at that dawn, those truths were uttered by them, which became the part of Upanishad. Now, this brings us to a very important and the last part of Adhyasa Bhashya. And that part is, avidya is the reason for us to get deluded. Avidya is the reason why we are not able to perceive the Brahma and we are looking at the world as real. Agreed. Technically, at least for the sake of understanding, intellectually, we let us accept it. The question comes to the mind that everything in the world is nothing else but Brahman. Otherwise, it is insentient. It is made sentient because of the presence of Atma Tattva or Brahma or the consciousness. If that is the case, then avidya as an entity must also be having consciousness in it. Little deeper thinking. The whole world is because of consciousness or dependent on consciousness, just on consciousness. Agreed? And avidya is in this world only. It is not out of the world. That means ignorance also. Jnana, all right. Atma is jnana purna. Agreed. But ajnana, from where it came? So, locus of ajnana, the source of ajnana, the base of ajnana, the place where ajnana resides also has to be Brahma. Because everything is Brahmibhuta. And then comes the doubt to the mind. Jnana and ajnana staying together? How can jnana and ajnana stay together? Brahma is all jnana, satyam anantam jnanam. That is how the Taittiriya Upanishad describes Brahma as. Then how ajnana can be on jnana? The locus of avidya, the locus of ajnana is Brahma or not? So ajnana is in upadhikruta jiva or Brahma? Where is the resting place of avidya? In the sharir, in the mana, buddhi, antakarana of the jiva or in the Brahma? This is the thing which divided the disciples of Shankaracharya into two streams. One is called Bhamati Pravaha, one is called Vivarana Pravaha. What are they talking or fighting or discussing or arguing about? Where does Ajnana or Avidya reside? Does it reside on the Jiva or does it reside in the Brahma? Bhamatikar, that means Vachaspati Mitra Mishra says, how can Brahma be locus of avidya? Avidya's controller is Ishvara, not Brahma. Avidya belongs to the Jiva, not Brahma. That is why this avidya is called Tula Avidya. Tula Vidya or Tula Avidya. Ishvara has got Mula Avidya. Jiva has got Tula Avidya. Vyashti Kruta Avidya. Samashti Kruta Avidya. So the locus is either Ishvara or Jiva. It is in the Jiva, controlled by the Ishvara. Brahma has nothing to do with it. This is Bhamatikar. That is why the Vivaranakar, that is Sureshwaracharya and Padmapadacharya, they say these Bhamatikar are stupid people. In Sanskrit, being a very decent language, decent abuses are used by Rishis. Bhamatikar calls Vivarana as Gardhavagan, song of a donkey. Vivrankar says Bhamatikar are just the Prushta Sevak, the tail waggers. Because they say, if everything is Brahma, how can Avidya be out of Brahma? Avidya also has to reside in Brahma only. And the example they give is very simple. When you say, I don't know, right? When you say, I don't know, it is Ajnana. But how is it that you know that you don't know? That means not knowing also requires illumination. See the argument. I don't know requires the knowledge that you don't know. I don't know atomic science. This presupposes that you know what atomic science is not. If I say there is darkness, it presupposes that you know that there is darkness. That means there is a knowledge of darkness. So Ajnana also presupposes a knowledge that you have Ajnana. That is how Brahma is even enlightening Ajnana. Otherwise, you wouldn't even speak the word that I have got Ajnana. The very fact that you say, I don't know Brahma, itself means you have knowledge that you don't know Brahma. That means it is also Brahmikruta. Again, based on these vadas only, the Avachedavada and the Pratibimba came from there only. So that is why on this Adhyasa, although these two rishis have given different interpretation, Acharya is only sticking, Shankaracharya is sticking to only one point. He is not getting into the details or the diversions of Avidya, Ajnana, Locus of Ajnana, Vikshepa. He just says Maya and Avidya. He doesn't even divide between Avidya and Ajnana in a separate manner. He just says that as far as Ishvara is concerned, it is Maya. As far as Jeev is concerned, it is Avidya. It can be removed by the Vidya, and everything is superimposition. These are very simple, fundamental postulates of Shankaracharya on Brahma Sutra. Further to that, when further commentaries come, then Bhamatikara, Vachaspati Mishra giving different views. But we all have become a party to this discussion because we are studying Brahma Sutra. Whether we like it or not, a Shastra, when it is to be studied, it should be studied to the fullest extent so that the mental faculty can be stimulated to think. Now, sometimes we get a feeling that after doing so much of dry discussion, what are we going to get? As you start thinking on this mananam of this Adhyasa Bhashya, your outlook towards the world starts changing. If Acharya says entire world is an Adhyasa, then all the things that we deal in our daily life, they look very small. Me, my wife, my frustration, my child is not getting educated, everything. We start getting a virakti, a vairagya, a kind of a dispassionate outlook towards life. As they say, even if you are in a school or whatever, if you happen to go into college, there are some visits organized of secondary or primary school children to the colleges and institutes. Now, they don't understand what is taught there, but simply going there, they start thinking, oh, there is further education. Look at the professor, how they speak, what a beautiful university. You start getting a feel that education is extremely important. Similarly, the detailed discussions on Brahma Sutra with possible ramifications, and mind well, we are seeing it in a very short term. It is not in detail at all, because this Vachaspati Mishra's view, Madhusudan Saraswati's view, Sayanacharya's view, if they are to be studied in detail, we will require months and years to study Brahma Sutra. In very, 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 very short terms, we are trying to learn it, but it is to widen our outlook towards both philosophy as well as towards the life. Shastras have an important role in changing the perspective of looking towards the world. And it gets more substantiated, it gets a firm support when we study it from that angle. So Adhyasa Bhashya, merely saying that one is imposed on other, detailing it, dwelling into the details of it, ultimately gives and starts rising over our consciousness, more so about on our intellect, and the vision widens. This is the penultimate part of the Adhyasa Bhashya. The next session, we will be concluding the Adhyasa Bhashya and starting with the first sutra of Brahma Sutra, Athato Brahma Jidnyasa. Hari Om. Om Purnamada Purnam Vidam Purnat Purnam Udachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. Hari Om. Questions?
Can I ask this Ega Vijnanena Sarva Vijnanam? There is a saying. So if we know the Brahma, then everything is known, automatically known. So that argument, how it plays here, and that is more practical, I think, in here in Narayana Guru also is of the same view, that he says everything that is seen as waves in the sea. And there is an Atmavadesha Shatakam. Very deep, very profound work of Narayana Guru. The language used in Malayalam language used in extremely difficult words. Although it is Malayalam, we can't read it, without help, without proper interpretation, we cannot digest it. So even in that third stanza says, this sea is containing waves and forms, many things, but everything is ultimately water only, sea only. There is nothing to be differentiated. That is, I think that is a more practical argument. What do you say about this?
Eka Vijnanena na tu Eka Jnanena. Meaning, one anubhuti is enough for all the anubhutis and anubhavas. Anubhava is in Dvaita. Experiencer, experiencing, and a thing to be experienced is Triputi Purti Jnana is in this transactory world or in the Vyavaharika Vishwa. Eka Vijnanena, when ultimate experience of unitary consciousness is there, there is no question of also getting knowledge of, because there is only one. If there is only one entity, the differentiation, avayavata not being there, then to say that, once you become experience Atmadhyani, then all the knowledge of this earth, of this, that doesn't exist. You cannot think of knowledge of earth and universe and creation and dissolution and Brahma and Shankar and Vishnu, because all that is within that one. Once within that one is coming, there is no question of differentiation, there is no question of knowledge, there is no question of, because whose knowledge you will take? You are the one. Just imagine, very difficult to imagine, but imagine there is nothing in this world except you. Just imagine, there is nobody, nothing existing in this world. You are the only one existing. Now comes the question, you will be knowledgeable of what? You will be omniscient and omnipotent of what? You are the only one. Omniscient, omnipotent, being knowledgeable of everything, getting all the siddhis, these are all things when two are there. When one eka vijnanena, actually the full stop is there, should come there. Why? Eka vijnanena, the thing is over. Further to that, even nothing can be talked. Just because our ability to understand such a state is impossible unless we reach there, then it is said that, with that knowledge, everything, na tatra surya chandra vibhati, that everything, this is for our understanding. When I am the Surya, I am the Chandra, I am the Taraka, I am the galaxy, I am this, I am there is no one else. Where is the question of knowledge? That is the unitary consciousness that we are talking about. In that unitary consciousness, if one decides to get downgraded, avatarana, into the phenomenal world, which also sustains on that unitary consciousness, then everything becomes relevant to people like us in the transitory world. Then we say that, oh, Krishna Bhagavan was an avatar, he came for the emancipation of everybody, because you presume that Krishna Bhagavan is separate, world is separate, there are jivas in the world. This is again, the frame of reference has to be always kept in mind. That is why when Kabir Maharaj says, Brahma, Shankara, Gopi, Sangu, Govindu, Anjana, meaning thereby, he's talking from the ultimate consciousness standpoint of view. Narayan Guru Maharaj, one of the rarest appearance, Ramana Maharshi, one of the rarest appearance, they were always standing at the unitary consciousness standpoint. So when they spoke about that, they're speaking from that Eka Vijnanena standpoint. Presently, we have only the glimpse of that as an aparoksha jnanam. That is called Shastra Krupa. That is why early morning we are studying this. The study is very simple. Keep reading about the stories of Alibaba, then you come to know that there was something called a cave and it is full of precious stones. Then you get up and start walking. So all this discussion that is happening on the Shastra is to get Shastra Krupa. When will Shastra, right now we are studying Shastra, when will Krupa take place? By reading this scriptural thing, I start changing myself, acharyati. When it becomes slowly part of my life, not only in thinking, but thinking, acting, and tan, man, dhan, all the three together into it, then it is called Shastra Krupa. The journey has started. When will the journey start? Might take couple of births. When will it complete? May take umpteen births. Manushyanam sahastreshu kachit tatanam api siddhanam kachit tattvataha. So discussing now is tattvataha. Rest all these steps are part of this Vyavaharik Vishwa. So that is why one Maharaj says, entire Veda is like a carrot. You make a flute out of it and keep playing it. While playing the flute, you eat the carrot, and then what will happen? The carrot doesn't remain, the hunger doesn't remain. Hunger is gone, carrot is gone. So Veda Shastra is gone, Shastra Krupa is gone, because now only unitary consciousness is remaining. Hari.
That is the reason Bhagavad Padra was reiterating that Evam Egam Advidiyam.